person-centered organisation is an organisation where the values of the organisation are shared by everybody who works for it and put into action on a daily basis. It's an organisation where the talents and skills of the people it supports are nurtured and developed, but equally the talents and skills of the people who work for it are nurtured and developed too, so that good, well-developed, happy staff are generally more creative and help the people they support more effectively. So the nurturing applies to both groups of people. Clearly the overall aim is to provide a better life for the person that's being supported. All of that implies that staff think in certain ways, and the most effective way of tracking that is through the use of person-centered tools. I'll use two examples. One is important to and important for. If somebody being supported by an organisation has a dilemma in their life and the solution needs to be found, it's possible to find a non-person-centered, quite repressive solution. But if you focus on what is important for that person to learn and know, but most importantly, balance it with what's important to that person to preserve during the process, and what's important to them to see as an outcome, so that when the outcome eventually is realised, that person feels as happy and as comfortable about it as they possibly can. Both of those things need to be kept in balance. Equally, if you apply that to staff and staff supervision, those processes can still be used very effectively in terms of what does a staff member need to learn and know in relation to doing their work, and what's really important to them as individuals in going about their daily work. And we know from research and from everything else that staff who are approached in that way do work more effectively and do actually respond more effectively, generally, to the demands placed on them by their organisation. So that's obviously all of that's very important. Another tool is working and not working, a simple diagnostic tool. It allows you, for example, if you're applying that to the life of somebody you support, to gather in all of the learning that you've done so far, and to work out what course of action will reinforce the things that have worked and will move away from the things that haven't. So a very effective tool to use, and a very simple one. It applies just as well in staff supervision, because the same process applies. Some things will have worked, some things won't have worked for that individual. It's a good tool to use to agree the way forward. Clearly, sometimes in person-centred organisations, as in other organisations, tough action needs to be taken that doesn't feel very person-centred to the staff member concerned. But that's when things have really been transgressed in terms of organisational values. Person-centred organisations need clear leadership. They need leaders who will maintain the values of the organisation against the very many pressures that are pushing on them to, in effect, push them away from their founding values. Leaders need to be very clear about that, and that clarity needs to be reinforced in terms of the policies and procedures of the organisation. Some organisational procedures can be designed for the convenience of the organisation itself rather than the people served by the organisation. That you would not see that in a person-centred organisation. They would be designed around the needs and wishes of the individual. The convenience of the organisation would remain important, but it would be very secondary to the main objective. You would also see in a person-centred organisation that people supported and the people who support them design things together and agree the way forward together. That would be a key feature of a person-centred organisation. So all of the things I've described in terms of features, you would expect, if you were looking in on the organisation, to see them happening habitually right across the organisation.